I'm Erika of the Knit Kind podcast and Grapefruit and Gardenia designs. I have a full fiber episode to record this week, but that is not what I'm doing right now. Right now, it's Monday morning in Massachusetts, in the suburbs of Boston, and it's been hard everywhere. We've had a absolutely horrific thing happen in a nearby town this morning. And so it didn't happen this morning, but I'm still feeling the effects of it and learning more about it this morning. Happened over the weekend. And this is going to be a short, because I have about 10 minutes to record it, Craftivism episode. So if that is your thing, I hope you'll stay here. If it's not your thing and you have a few minutes, maybe listen. This is a nonpartisan, non-judgmental, inclusive Craftivism message. So what happened this weekend? Well, in a nearby town, a young man named Marcelo Gomes was on his way to volleyball practice with friends. I don't know this young man. I don't have all of my own independent facts, and I'm not here to pretend that I do. But he had a teacher speak out. He has had classmates speak out. This is a young man who played drums in his school band, who played sports, who's on the honor roll at his school. I have a son who's musical, who someday will probably be driving to something. And you know what I want to worry about? Driving, safety, the things we used to worry about more. If somebody didn't show up to my senior prom or my graduation, it was because there was an accident. There was a death by suicide in my class. There were a lot of things that happened. The world wasn't perfect when I was growing up. But you didn't get pulled over by operatives of your own government after not running a red light, after not stopping, by all accounts after not speeding, after doing nothing but going to your sports practice at your high school. I'm not even sorry, whatever. More people need to be talking about this. So this car was pulled over. And some of these young people who have been in our country since they were younger than my son, elementary school, single digits, were asked for their documentation. And they didn't have it because they don't have it. They were then asked their ages, and the ones who were under 18 were left in the car while they pulled the 18-year-old out who was supposed to graduate yesterday. And they cuffed him, and they took him, and they detained him so far in 2 different places in Massachusetts. So his family and friends knew where he was first taken, and they knew where he was transferred to, and they don't know for sure where he is now. And regardless of your politics, think of humanity and ask yourself if you're okay with this and if you're okay being silent about this. Not everybody can go out and protest. Not everybody is comfortable speaking up. Collectively, we have an obligation to the future. We have an obligation to our communities. We have collective responsibility. There's no fault. If things continue to go this way, and we live in a country that mirrors or is worse than Nazi Germany, it's not our fault, but it is our collective responsibility to make choices right now and speak out and speak up if we're not okay with what's happening in any area. And to those of you who watch from Canada, I have a few things to say as well. To those of you who watch from around the world, I have some additional messages. This is Massachusetts. This is something that happened this weekend. At the graduation ceremony in Milford, Massachusetts, there was a drum with no one sitting behind it, because that's where Marcelo Gomes should have been. with his classmates on Sunday, playing in his school band, graduating with honors. After the graduation ceremony, there was a 1-mile march with graduates and townspeople to the town hall to protest peacefully, to ask where he is and to bring him home. His younger sister was there. He has a family. That family, by all accounts, is a contributing member of our local society. And Milford's school system has come out to confirm the detainment, as well as to say that many parents have been detained in the last few weeks. These aren't criminals by all accounts. I'm, again, not here to fact check this for you. I am just here to raise awareness. And so here are my additional messages and why this is part of a Craftivism episode. Craftivism, what is it? It's peaceful protest by gathering and talking, not always agreeing, but by trying to address the things in our society that we can make a difference with some very small actions. Gathering, talking, and acting. So I am wearing my Amplify cowl. This is my Amplify hat. If you remember when I came out with it, and let me have a moment of joy here. Doesn't it look really cute with a little pom-pom too? So my Amplify hat is about raising our voices and our actions together. And it has this bit here that reminds me of sound waves. And when people speak up and speak out, there's a lot of people that can do a little bit, and fewer as you get to the top of the people who are willing to put the most on the line. And that's okay. But find where you are here. Amplify each other's voices. Speak up and speak out about what's going on in whatever way is comfortable to you. It doesn't have to be every issue. You don't have to support a candidate that you don't support. But let's support democracy, the Constitution, human rights. Let's support the right to due process. Let's not let our country go the way of Nazi Germany and other similar societies throughout history. So why am I showing you this hat? I'm not trying to sell patterns. That'd be great. If you want to go and you want to buy my patterns and pay full price for them and know you're supporting someone who is putting myself on the line by speaking out and speaking up, please do that. I would appreciate it. But I'm telling you today because I'm going to make this pattern free through June 15th. The reason I chose that date is because June 14th is Knit in Public Day. It also happens to be a day that there are going to be many peaceful protests in the United States to stand up and speak out. And so Craftivism is coming together. It's talking. It's making a difference. It's making an impact. So the code in Ravelry is justice, the number 4 all. So justice for all, which I will put in the show notes, the description below. And you can have the Amplify hat pattern for free. And what I ask is that you amplify each other's voices. I ask that you share whatever stories are going on in your local community. You don't have to share Marcelo's story. You can share the story that is happening down the street or in the next town over from you, because I know it is. And this isn't about not believing in immigration reform. It's not about putting criminals back on the street. This is about people who deserve due process, whose rights are being violated, and they're being done by masked operatives of our own government that we can't even say for sure who they are. Are they ICE agents? That's what we're told in some cases. In some cases, we don't even know who they are. I'm, like I said, putting myself out there too, and I know that there's a risk to that. We have also had American citizens start to be detained. So I'm not going to go into those stories, but they're real and you can find them. And what I want to say is that it's this idea of thinking globally and acting locally that's been around forever. So if you're watching from another country, maybe you've decided to not purchase any American goods. Maybe you've decided to boycott things. And that's your choice, and I understand why you would do that. But I also want to say that we need support in our country for people who are standing up and speaking out, because slowly layers of this onion are going to be silenced or going to be attempted to be silenced. And while I remain an undeclared voter who has voted Republican and Democrat in my life for different positions, different offices, different elected officials at a local, state, and national level, you want to think about who you're supporting and why. The same thing goes for Americans who are making an effort to buy from Canada. Make sure whoever you are and are not buying from, there are reasons that are thoughtful and that are meaningful and that are impactful. Because if you buy from someone who's supporting things you don't believe in, you're actually helping that regardless of what country they're in. And if you're not buying from people who do support your values, who need that support in another country, you're negatively impacting that. So I'm not here to change anybody's behavior in a way that's against your national thoughts or anything, but I'm here to just please say, as I have said in past episodes, it's the idea you have your own independent thinking. Please use it. Please think. Please fact check. Please be thoughtful. Please help spread more kindness, which is why I started this podcast. Stop hate. And just take moments to reflect on what's happening. So that's kind of it. It's against apathy. Our administration is counting on more apathy, because there is a lot of that, and it's a lot of someone else is going to stand up. I'm not a leader. I can't make a difference. I have this one little voice. Well, collectively, we all have a voice, and together it is stronger. So please consider all that. Please continue to craft. Do it for your own personal mental health, emotional health, and do it to come together with people who might not be exactly like you, but who are willing to have conversations and willing to make a difference. I think that is it for today. I will say my husband and I have both gone off our personal Facebook accounts because, like many of you, this isn't like I can't relate. We have friends and family who have doubled down on some of the things that are happening. And while we will always welcome and embrace changes to that, it has become too hard to see it regularly for our family. So I do still have my knitting business accounts, and I am using those. But right now I am trying to consume factual information elsewhere and not see hateful information on a regular basis that is hurting my family personally. So if that works for you, maybe try that too. And if you're still on those places personally, then please help spread messages of truth, true facts, true news, and solutions. Thanks, everybody. Knit kindly, live kindly, power on. I'm here with you. And I hope later this week that I will have an episode that is more purely fiber-based, because I do have a lot of things to share, but I can't share them when all this is going on and taking up space in my head and my heart and my breath away. I will see you again soon.